What's up guys, this is 2bucks and right now you're watching a mostly using my knife gameplay on jungle. So you might ask, 2bucks, why are you using your knife? You're not typically doing that type of stuff. You usually like to shoot your gun and kill people. Well, the reason for this is I went to a Christmas party at my friend's house and I brought my controller there because he has an Xbox, and me, him, and a couple of my other friends wanted to play some Black Ops when we were there because all our parents were like talking about boring stuff. So I accidentally left my Kontrol Freak, which was on my analog stick, at his house. And if you guys don't know what Kontrol Freaks are by now, you can just read the description. But basically, they help me aim better. And it doesn't really help me like an immense amount, but it's just that when I'm not playing with the Kontrol Freaks, it feels kind of weird. And it takes me a couple games to get adjusted to not using Kontrol Freaks anymore. So this is my first game playing without it, and I was like, wow, I just can't even shoot at all because I'm not used to holding just the raw analog stick. So I was like, well, if I can't shoot, then I might as well run around using my knife. And as you saw earlier in the game, I'm also not very used to using the knife because I usually use the tactical layout, so I can't even get my controls right, so I do mess up several times. And I'm also not very used to lunging with the knife because I really only have like 50 knife kills out of like 10,000. So earlier in the game here I messed up and failed several times, but soon I become pretty accustomed to running around. And I like to use the ballistic knife because it does help you knife a lot faster. Usually if you don't use the ballistic knife, you have to like lunge in, stab the guy, and then pull out your knife, and it takes really long. But the ballistic knife is just like both arms just like whooshing, and you kill the guy pretty quickly, and allows you to meet multiple opponents pretty well. Now, the main topic of my video today is called basically how to improve your gameplay using knife only. I've watched a lot of gameplays from Only Use Me Blade, and many times when I'm watching his gameplay, I'm just wondering, how good would this guy be if he actually used his gun? And I realized that he was so good at using his knife because he was such a sneaky person, and he always got himself into situations where the enemy is looking in the complete opposite direction. And that's really the only way you can kill someone with your knife, because if the enemy is looking at you and you're running straight at them, there's no way you're going to be able to knife them unless they're like mentally handicapped and only has 2 fingers. So obviously Only Use Me Blade has an uncanny ability that most guys don't have who just run around and shoot their gun. So I was basically thinking, like, what a juggernaut someone would be if they had the ability to shoot their gun, but also the very sneaky abilities of Only Use Me Blade. So I developed a theory that if I do play some more games with knife only and force myself to be in more of like a survivor mode, force myself to be more sneaky and try to flank the enemy, then when I go back to using my gun, I'll be a way better player. And honestly, that makes sense, right? Basically, throughout this whole game, I'm doing a lot of things that I wouldn't have done if I was playing with a gun. I think the main thing that using knife only teaches us that we normally wouldn't practice is the ability to play with a survival mentality. If you play with a mentality of I must stay alive rather than I must get a kill, I think you'll become a way better player. If you're playing with a I must get a kill mentality, then you're just rushing out all the time, and as long as you get a kill, you're happy. If you're playing with a I must survive mentality, then you're being a little bit more conservative. You're picking fights that you know you are going to win, and you're being more sneaky and trying to get behind the enemy because that's how you can avoid them from killing you. And by practicing this mentality, everyone can lessen those deaths that are really the source of many deaths, which is basically rushing in carelessly. Do you guys like that dramatic pause there? And also, when you're playing knife only, you can use more of your brain to thinking about where you position yourself on the map, rather than, how well you're aiming your gun and all that stuff. Really, when you're playing knife only, you're dedicating a lot of your brain cells to really thinking about where the enemy is, to thinking about where you're trying to go, and how you're maximizing your potential of getting a kill. A lot of the times when I'm playing with a gun, I just feel like I don't play with that type of like intense mental thinking. And there you saw where my knife only gameplay started to break down. I was chasing that guy for like 20 seconds and I just couldn't catch up to him, and I was like, fuck this, and I just pulled out my AK-74 and shot him. Because if I didn't do that, then my teammate would have stolen my kill. Anyway, like I was saying, If you do play knife only more, then you're going to be very used to thinking about positioning yourself, knowing where to run. And the more you practice doing that while doing knife only, the more it's going to become second nature to you. So when you do go back to using your gun, you can focus more about, aiming, getting kills, and all the things we love. And anyone who has, done any sort of knife only game, you will find yourself being just more intelligent overall. You feel like you're making a lot more better decisions, you're not rushing in stupidly. And I think that's why a lot of people like to play knife only, because it makes them feel like a fucking genius. And as you see me at the end of the game here, I was getting like a 7 kill streak with the knife, and I was just like, I can't handle this pressure anymore. I gotta pull out my gun and get my attack dogs here. And I guess that's what separates me, a shitty knifer, from Only Use Me Blade, a legendary knifer, is that he has the discipline to never pull out his gun. But thanks to my ability to knife and my ability to whip out my gun, I'm able to get a chopper gunner. Didn't get that many kills in it though, but I do have my Blackbird and these guys coming around the corner, and I'm able to finish them off with the AK-74U for some attack dogs. See, I was thinking that I was gonna get attack dogs earlier, so I didn't have to hold out some a lot longer, and you don't really care. Also, guys, if you were a fan of me back in my Halo days, you'll remember that one time I started like a small movement where I told everyone to go around on other people's YouTube videos and tell them to give me my sniper back. So when I was watching like other Halo players' videos, the highest thumbs up comments, even on Machinima videos, would be like, give $2 his sniper back. And I just thought that was pretty hilarious. And in Black Ops, I think it would be really funny if we did the same thing except with dogs, seeing as I am one. So next time you see a YouTube commentator use dogs, just post like, hey, give $2 his dogs back, or why did you kidnap $2 his dogs, or why did you let $2 his dogs out? And $2 called, he wants his dogs back. Or you ain't $2, go use the gunship. Or only $2 can use dogs as his slaves. Just funny stuff like that so I can make fun of my other commentator friends. This is all just in good fun, of course. I don't want to discourage any other commentators from using dogs. I just think it's funny for me and my fans to tease them a little bit. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see y'all later.